Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. Allahumma rabbi zidni ilma. Sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. Ameen. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. In this lecture, I will discuss the important concepts of binomial distribution. For this, I am using the work of one of my best students, Miss Sayyida Fiza of class 2020, the Lyceum. An important advice for me and for everyone: we must be humble. Discrete distributions. There are two special discrete distributions in S1 syllabus. Number one, the binomial distribution, and number two, the geometric distribution. A binomial distribution can be used to model the number of success in a fixed number of independent trials, where the probability of success in each trial is constant. This is very important. There must be fixed number of trials. Whereas a geometric distribution can be used to model the number of trials up to and including the first success in an infinite number of independent trials. This is the difference between these two distributions. In binomial distribution, trials are fixed. In geometric distribution, we repeat the process until we get the success. And that is why this distribution is also known as infinite distribution. And the probability of success in each trial is constant in both the distributions. The binomial distribution. A discrete random variable that meets the following criteria is said to have binomial distribution, and it is defined by its two parameters n and p. N means fixed number of trials and p means probability of success. These are the conditions for binomial model. There are n repeated independent trials. The trials must be independent. N is fixed. Number 3, there are two possible outcomes of each trial: success or failure. Number 4, the probability of success in each trial, which is P, is constant. The random variable is the number of trials that result in a success. A discrete random variable x that has a binomial distribution is denoted by. This is the way to describe the distribution. You can read this as x follows binomial with n number of trials and probability of success is p. And these two are known as the parameter of this distribution. Or you can read this as x is binomial with parameters n and p. If x follows binomial, then probability of x success in n trials is this. This is the formula of the distribution. With the help of this formula, we find probability of success, where in this formula, this x can take any value from 0 to n, and the value of n is from 1 to n. P means probability of success, whereas Q means everything except success. That is P complement. Q is P complement. Well, since x represents the number of successes, this x, so it can take integer values from 0 to n. X can take any integer value from 0 to n, where n takes positive integer values only. To make the calculation simple, we must know these two results. 0 means, when x is 0 means none. So for that, if you will put 0 here, here, here and here, you will get q power n. And all means the value of x is n. So when you will substitute n here, here and here, you will get p power n. So for none, the probability is q power n. For all, the probability is p power n. Examples for binomial model. Score 5 and 5 complement on a fair die. This is one of the best example for binomial model. If this is success, then this will be failure. Broken and unbroken biscuits in a packet of 20. A and A complement, like this, A and A complement. This is the best example of binomial model. If the probability of this is P and the probability of this is Q, then P plus Q is always 1. Because probability A plus probability A complement is always 1. Binomial distribution is for countable quantities because this is the discrete distribution. Discrete means countable, like number of students in a class. The mean of binomial distribution. This is the formula of the mean of binomial distribution, NP. And the variance of binomial distribution is NPQ. Some important terms. The word or means addition. The word either means addition. Like either P or Q means P, probability P, probability Q, plus probability Q. At least means greater equal. This sign means at least or minimum. For example, if two coins are tossed simultaneously, find the probability of getting at least one head. So we have two options. We can either find at least one head with this method, 1 minus no head, or we can find this as 1 head with tail and 2 heads. So we have both the options. Either we list all the possible options or 1 minus no head, like this. At most means maximum. Find the probability of getting at most one head. Let me just edit this thing. This is just head. At most one head when two coins are tossed simultaneously. So these are the possible options. Or you can do this as at most one head means 1 minus both head. This is not the requirement. So 1 minus the option which is not in this list. Now these are very important rules to make calculations simple. You must be good at these rules if you want to be good at binomial distribution. So always list the numbers of direct method first and then list the numbers of for indirect method. Number 1, if we need probability of all, so all means n, the answer is p power n. None, probability none means x0, so answer is q power n. You just need to put the value of p and with n here, q with n here. Probability at least 1. So if we have n trials, for example n is 20. So we have to find probabilities of all the numbers 1 to 20. Generally 1 to n. So this is very lengthy. So direct method is lengthy. Every time direct method will be lengthy for this probability because you need to add all the probabilities of all the numbers till n. So we use indirect method. This is the indirect method. First list the numbers of direct method and then list the numbers for indirect method. And how to list the numbers for indirect method? we write those numbers here which are not in this list. See, these are the values of x, and I told you x starts from 0. So at least one head means one head, two heads, three heads, or n heads. So this number is not in the list, this list. Let me write this here, because x starts from 0. So we write those number or that number which is not in this list. So 0 is not in this list. So 1 minus probability that number. This is the way to find the probability for at least 1. At least 2. This method is also lengthy through direct method, because you have to add the probabilities of all these numbers. So you have to use the indirect method, which is 1 minus probability of those numbers which are not in this list. So this is the list of x. So these two numbers are not in this list. So you need to write these two numbers here. More than 2 is also lengthy through direct method. So we have to subtract probability of those numbers from 1 which are not in this list. So these numbers are not in this list, 0, 1, 2. So probability 1 minus probability 0, 1, 2. You can do this, and you have to do this through direct method, because we have less number of numbers here. We always use direct method for these probabilities. 2, 1, 0. Less than 2, just 1, 0, because 2 is exclusive. If n is 9 and we need probability 8, so we have to use direct method. We just need probabilities of number 8 and 9. So we do this in this way: probability 8 plus probability 9. Now, this is one of the most important part of binomial distribution. The p of binomial from the previous parts or part. This is the case 1. Two binomial models. Sometimes we have two binomial model in one question. So we find p of next binomial model from the previous binomial model. So we find p from the previous binomial model for the new binomial model or next binomial model or following binomial model. This question is from past paper, June 12, paper 61. In a certain mountainous region in winter, the probability of more than 20 centimeter of snow falling on any particular day is 0.21. This means probability x greater than 20 is 0.21. This information is given. More than 20 centimeter of snow falling on any particular day is this. This statement means this equation. For 4 randomly chosen 7-day periods, this is the following binomial model and this is the previous binomial model. For 4 means n is 4. 7-day periods in winter. Find the probability that exactly 3. So we need this probability. 4C3. N is 4 and requirement is 3. We need this thing. We'll have at least one day with more than 20 centimeter of snow falling. Now, this statement means this thing. At least one day more than 20 centimeters snow falling. So when you will solve this statement, when you will solve this equation, you will get P of this binomial model. So this statement will help you to find the P of this new binomial model, you can say. And we have probability of this thing. More than 20 centimeter means this probability, which is 0.21. So you have to find probability at least 1. This is here. We write at least 1 in this way. 1 minus q power n. In this case, q is 7 because 7-day period. And q will be 0.79. So we will find this probability through this equation, which is here 1 minus q power 7. So when you will solve this thing, you will get P for this new binomial model, and you will use this P here. 4C3 P power 3 Q power 1 will give you this answer. This is one of the most important questions of binomial distribution. Let me repeat it. For 4 randomly chosen 7-day periods, so n is 4, find the probability that exactly 3. So we need this probability. Probability x3 from n4. Now we need P for this model. Now how will we get P of this model? For that we need to use this information carefully. These periods will have at least 1 day with more than 20 centimeter of snow falling. Write this thing mathematically like this. At least 1 day with more than 20 centimeter of snow falling. So this information is here. So P of this information is 0.21, and we find at least 1 in this way. 1 minus q power n, which is 7. So this information will give you P for this model, which is this. And just use this P here. 4C3 P power 3 Q power 1 will give you this answer. Case 2. The P from the conditional probability, in short CP. This question is November 11, paper 62, 8 part 2. There are large number of students in college, in X college you can say. 60% of these students are boys. Therefore 40% will be girl. It is found that 75% of the boys choose games, 10% choose drama, and the remainder choose music. Of the girls, 40% girls, 30% choose games, 55% choose drama, and remainder choose music. So this tree diagram will help us to find the conditional probability, which is here. Given that 5 drama students, this information will tell you that this thing is conditional probability because of students. Student means either girls or boys. So drama student means either this or this. So given that 5 drama students are chosen at random, find the probability that at least one of them is a boy. We need this probability. At least one of them is a boy. So we first need P for this binomial distribution model, and we will find P with the help of conditional probability like this. Boy who take drama, who choose drama. So point this should be in numerator. You all know how to find conditional probability. 0.6 times this should be in numerator, and these two results should be in denominator. This is the formula of conditional probability, and this is the P for this binomial model. So see, we found P for binomial model through conditional probability. CP means conditional probability, and at least one means 1 minus q power 5. So 1 minus q power 5 will give you this answer. So in this question we found P through conditional probability. Last case, case 3. P, the P of binomial distribution from normal distribution. This question is from past paper. Lengths of rolls of parcel tape have a normal distribution with mean 75 and variance standard deviation is unknown. 15% of the rolls have lengths less than 73 meter. Now this information means this equation. 15% are less than 73 centimeter. So with the help of this information we will find sigma. The first part of this question is find sigma. So we will use z. We will convert a statement from x into z with the help of this formula. X minus mu over sigma. So 73 minus mu is 75 over sigma. You all know how to shade this probability. We shade this probability from lower to upper tail, because this is inverse normal. For this sign we do shading in this way. So this quantity is negative. This thing is negative. The answer is minus 1.037. This result is this. So you need to equate this thing with this. Therefore sigma is this. Now Alison buys 8 rolls of parcel tape. Now this part is of binomial. N is 8. Find the probability that fewer than 3. So we need this probability. And N is 8, but we need P for that. Now this information will help you to find P. Have lengths more than 77 centimeter. So you need P from this information, with the help of this information. So what will we do? We will use normal distribution. By the way, this question is simple because mean is 75. You can also find P through this method. You can either use normal distribution probability, or you can use a sketch of normal distribution. This is x. This is the value of mean 75. This number was 73. This is 77. Normal distribution is perfectly symmetrical. We had this probability. This was 0.15. So this is also 0.15. So P is 0.15. So I use normal distribution sketch for the P of binomial. You can also use probability of normal distribution. You can also find this probability through calculation if you want. For that you need to use this. You need to find this probability more than 77. First you need to convert your statement from x into z. So 77 minus 75 over 1 point. Make sure you use the accurate value of sigma here, which is 1.9286. So when you will simplify this, you will get this probability. This is 0.15. This student got this number. So if you round this number, you'll get 0.15. It's perfectly 0.15. So you can use this here, 0.15. So 0.85 here, 0.15. We need this probability for binomial fewer than 3. Fewer than 3 means these numbers, 0, 1, 2. So this is probability 0, this is probability 1, and this is probability 2. That's the final answer. So basically we use normal distribution model for the probability for the P of binomial, and you can find P either through sketch or through calculation. This question was simple, that is why I can use a sketch, or I could use a sketch here, but normally we use probability method. We 99% use probability method for the P of binomial. If you are good at normal distribution, you can easily find P of binomial with this information. With this given information, you can say. The last few concepts are left. Expected profit. This is a unique question in past paper. Question 11, November 12, paper 61. So expected net profit. The formula for expected net profit is this: gross profit. Gross profit means the amount, the selling price times profit percent. Like gross profit minus expenses will give you net profit. So just remember this formula for net profit: gross profit minus expenses. Expenses means cost, and gross profit means selling price times profit percent. This is the question. A company set up a display consisting of 20 fireworks. For each firework, the probability that it fails to work is 0.05. Find the probability that more than one firework fails to work. So we need this probability. For that we need to use this thing, indirect method, 1 minus 0, 1. And we have n20, we have p 0.05. So q will be 0.95. So the answer is this. So the probability that more than one firework fails to work is 0.264. And you can say this is the probability of loss. Anyway, the 20 fireworks cost the company $24 each. So if you will multiply 20 with 24, you will get the cost price, this thing, which is here. $450 people pay the company $10 each. This will give you ideal gross profit to watch the display. If more than one firework fails to work, they get their money back. So probability of loss is this. More than one firework fails to work is this. Calculate the expected profit for the company. Number one, you need to understand that this is the probability of loss. So probability of profit will be 1 minus this, which is this thing, 0.736. When you will subtract this from 1, you will get probability of profit. So probability of profit is 0.736 and probability of loss is 0.264. Company spent this amount, 20 times 24, that is $480. Ideal profit. Ideal profit means 450 times 10. If probability of loss, let's suppose probability of loss is 0, then probability of profit will be 1. So this means ideal profit. But here probability of profit is not 1, it's 0.736. So company earn conditionally this amount. This is the gross profit. The formula of gross profit is this: selling price times profit percent. So I use this formula here. This is the profit percent. Profit percent times selling price will give you the gross profit, which is this. Now we need the expected net profit. According to this formula, we need to use this minus this, meaning gross profit minus cost will give you expected net profit. So first you need to understand that this is the probability of loss. So when you will subtract this probability from 1, you'll get the probability of profit, which is this. This is the cost. 20 times 24 will give you cost price. Now earned conditionally or conditional earned is this: profit percent times selling price. This will give you gross profit. So when you will subtract 480 from this, you will get expected net profit. You can take the screenshot of this solution if you want. The next concept, the highest probability observation. Now how to find the highest probability observation? Now this value is one of the two values closest to the mean of x. Highest probability observation is the value which is closest to mean. What if mean is 8.4? Let's suppose mean is 8.4. Then you have to find probability of both the numbers, 8 and or 9. So if the mean is this, even then we check the probability of 8 and 9 to get the right value of x. For example, probability x is 8 is this and probability x9 is this. So x9 is the observation since it has the highest probability. This is the way to find the observation which has the highest probability. First we calculate mean through this formula NP, and then we find probability of both the numbers. If we get like this number, if we get for example, if the answer of NP is 8, we just need to find probability 8. We don't need to find probability 8. In fact, this is the value of x. What if we got x, NP is 8, so answer is x8 because we have the integer value. But if we have this value 8.4 or 8.5 or 8.6, like these values, then we have to check the probabilities of both the numbers, and the answer is in this case is 9. This is the example of that concept. This is 7 part 2 of June 11 paper 63. The probability that Sue completes a Sudoku puzzle correctly is 0.75. She attempts 14 Sudoku puzzles every month. This is n. The number that she completes successfully is denoted by x. Find the value of x that has the highest probability. You may assume that this value is one of the two values closest to the mean of x. So first we need mean. The mean of this data is 10.5 according to this formula. So we need to check the probability of number 10 and 11. So probability of number 10 is this and probability of observation 11 is this. So x11 is the highest observation, is the observation which has the highest probability. That's the answer, 11. This is the last concept of this binomial distribution lecture and topic. The greatest number of objects. Remember, whenever they ask greatest number of objects, the answer is always n. This is the example of this concept. The number of books read by members of a club, the number of books read by members of a book club each year has the binomial distribution. State the greatest number of books that could be read by a member of the book club in a particular year and find the probability that a member reads this number of books. So first we have to state the greatest number of books that could be read by a member. Since n is 12, so maximum number of books will be 12. So greatest number of books will be 12. Answer is 12. You can write this answer in this way. X is 12. Greatest number of books are 12. And the probability of this number will be p power 12. Because this means all. Let me explain this here. 12 means probability all, and all means p to the power n, and p is 0.7 and n is 12. So to find the greatest number of books, always state n. X is n, in this case 12, and this is the way to find the probability. This is all. I hope this lecture will help you to understand the concepts of binomial distribution well. I am extremely thankful to my one of my best student, Miss Sayyida Fiza, who helped me to make this lecture. May Allah Pak bless her with great success. Ameen. An important advice: don't be rude. Good luck to everyone. Allah Hafiz.